Good morning, guys. So I'm not at a board today. Today, what we're going to do is we are going to start our unit on time. And what today is going to be about is reviewing what you learned in second grade, which is telling time to the nearest minute. Now, I'm going to review the hands on the clock because today what you're going to do is you're not only going to tell time on clocks that are already given to you, but you're also going to tell time or put the time on a clock and need to know where the hands go on that clock that you see. Now I've got a lot of little clocks here, so you can use those to help you when you put the hands on the clock. But I do want to talk about where those hands go as we're putting the time on the clock. So just a little bit of a review. We know that when it's an o'clock, like 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, our hour hand is going to be in or at that particular number, and our minute hand is going to be at the 0. We often think of this as, if we could think of this as 62, because 60 minutes have gone by. But for instance, I'm going to bring this around on my clock. The hour hand is pointing at the 1, and my minute hand is pointing at the 12. Okay, I'm going to go around again. My hour hand is at the 2, and my minute hand is at the 12. So that's our o'clock. Now, another reminder, when we go around, each of these numbers that we see around the clock, there are exactly 12, those represent intervals of 5 minutes. So we know to count by fives when we're trying to decide what time it is if our minute hand is at a number. So for instance, if I have my clock showing this time, I see that my hour hand is just a little bit past the 2. So I know that we're in the hour of 2. And my minute hand is at the 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count by fives. And I'm going to say that this is 5, 10, 15. So the hour is 2 and the minute is 15. We say that it is 2:15. Now, when I go around, I also see that I have these little lines. On a regular clock, they are black lines between the numbers. Those represent 1 minute. So if I'm looking at this, I know this says 60 because an hour is 60 minutes, but we start a new hour when your minute hand reaches the 60. So we count this as 0 as well. So I am going to count this line right here as a 1. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I can use that or those lines to help me figure out my time to the nearest or to the minute. Don't want to say nearest because I'm going to tell the time to the actual minute. So I'm going to bring my clock around here and I'm going to set my time right here. So in order to figure out the time, I'm going to first look and see where my hour hand is. Here's my hour hand. It's not at the 7 yet. So it's not 7. The hour is not 7 yet. It's between the 6 and the 7. So it still qualifies as 6. The hour is 6. And then when I come to my minute hand, I see it's at one of my minutes, my lines here. So I see that I'm at the 8 or between the 8 and the 9. So I know I'm going to do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And then I can count by ones when I get to this place. 41, 42, 43. So I am confident in saying that this clock is showing me 6:43. One last thing I want to talk to you about is the positioning of the hands on the clock. So when the clock or the hands go around the clock, I want you to notice something. When we're at the o'clock, all right, here's the o'clock, 9 o'clock right here. We see that the hour hand is exactly at the 9. I want you to see what happens to that hour hand as we go around. I want to make sure I have the clock so it's nice and straight for you. As I go around the clock, I see that my hour hand is moving. Now, at this point, it's 9:30 or 9:30. When I look at my hour hand, it's halfway between the 9 and the 10. So that hour hand keeps moving closer to that next hour as our minutes get closer to that next hour. So I'm going to keep going, and I want you to see how the hour hand is moving. This is at 9:45, and that hour hand is even closer to the 10. I'm going to move up. I'm getting closer and closer to 10 o'clock. Still not completely pointed at the 10 yet, but it's really, really, really close. And then as I get up to that 12, I see that my hour hand is pointing at the 10. So when you are getting onto, or you're practicing this and you're putting the hands on the clock, I want you to think about that. When maybe say the practice sheet says it wants you to show, say, 2:47. Let's show this on this clock. I'm going to go around and I'll go to 2:47. So there's 2, and then I'm going to go to 47 here. I want you to know that my minute hand, yes, is pointing at the 47, but my hour hand is not pointing directly at the 2. It's very, very close to the 3. It's between the 2 and the 3. So what I'm really looking for is for you to understand that that hour hand is getting closer to that next hour, because 47 minutes past 2 is really, really close to 3 o'clock. So that hour hand is going to get closer and closer. So as you're practicing putting the hands on the clock, I want you to recognize that, and I want you to portray that on the clocks that you are putting together. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you.